Hi, I'm Sue Bryant and we're here today at the ICT Transformation Workshop in Kuala Lumpur. And today we're going to have a conversation with Andrew Baldock. And Andrew is from our global consulting practice on VGS, and he's going to be talking about mobile broadband challenges and opportunities. So thank you, Andrew, for coming along today to talk to us about challenges, opportunities for mobile broadband. So really, what do you see as the challenges for mobile broadband?
Well, the main challenge that we see for operators around the world, and these are the different operators that we've spoken to, is it's much more difficult to communicate the value of MBB to customers than it was with fixed voice communications. With voice, it's very simple. It's volume based, and you charge your customer on the minute, and the customer easily understands and translates that into value to them. With MBB, the currency we're using in MBB is megabytes, and megabytes is much more difficult for customers to translate into value for them. For example, a standard definition video, 10 minutes of standard definition video, is very different in terms of size to 10 minutes of high definition video. So when you make a proposition to a customer of a certain quantity of data, for example 100 megabytes or 1 gigabyte, which is very common at the moment, a lot of customers are scared away from that because they simply can't translate that into value for themselves. So what we're doing with VGS is trying to help operators to monetize more effectively on their MBB network and on the services they provide customers.
Mm-hmm. So really, how do you propose VGS is going to help the customer moving forward?
So continuing on the same theme as I was talking earlier, what we want to do is to allow operators, instead of charging on this simple volume-based approach, is to charge on value to customers. For example, charging for number of songs downloaded, charging for number of minutes of voice over IP, or charging for number of minutes of live streaming TV, for example, which requires a number of policy and charging elements within the network and software components to support that, and that's effectively what we provide with VGS.
Really? So I know I've heard a lot in the market that there's a lot of other vendors doing things in this area. Really, what makes Huawei different?
What we've noticed with the other vendors, for example Cisco and Ericsson, there are lots of different vendors, large and also specialist vendors in the market, and the focus we find from them is the cost efficiencies of the network. So they're helping operators to deal with this big problem that they're facing of congestion. We are also looking at that, but we see it in a much more customer-focused way, because we see the network as an asset owned by operators that they can use to translate into money, into value for customers. So the majority of other vendors will look simply at the cost side of the equation, whereas Huawei, by virtue of being a network equipment provider as well as a software company, can focus on both the cost and the demand side and the revenue side of the equation as well.
Mm-hmm. So really ultimately about having good customer experience.
Absolutely, customer experience.
Success for the mobile broadband operator.
That's right, yes.
Great. Well, thank you for that, Andrew. That was really interesting and illuminating on mobile broadband.
Thank you.
And thank you for coming today.